Local, breaking news. This is WYFF News 4 at 5.
Coming up, video shows a man catching a baby boy dropped from an upstate apartment window during a fire.
That was really close. That was a close call.
School bus camera video shows how close a teenager was grazed by a deputy's car. Why the sheriff's office has no video of their own from the incident.
Some roads are good, and then a lot of them you just swerve and avoid potholes, you know.
South Carolina roads have long been a problem, but now many in the upstate are getting much-needed repairs. Tonight, what to expect where you live.
Beautiful dry weather outside right now, but what about the rest of the month? How does it look, Chris?
Are you taking a vacation? We'll take a look at temperatures and precipitation.
First up, an Anderson County Sheriff's deputy is suspended, but not off the job for good.
This after school bus video shows her patrol car nearly crashing into a 15-year-old girl who was waiting for the bus.
Tonight, the sheriff confirms that the deputy was driving while distracted. Madeline Hackett joins us live from Anderson with more. Madeline.
Well, Nigel and Gabby, this is all seen from footage taken from a school bus camera that hasn't been released yet. And as for dash cam or body cam footage taken here from the sheriff's office, well, turns out it doesn't exist.
Anytime there's an incident like this, there's hardly any video to be able to capitalize on.
That's especially true for the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. No dash cam video was available to show what happened when Deputy Adrian McMahon swerved off the road, causing her car to slingshot across wet grass and graze past 15-year-old Jordan Reyes as she waited for the bus.
A basic patrol officer's vehicle does not have them yet. I want them and we need them, but we don't have them yet, and it's a very, very expensive, it's a very expensive thing to put them in every single vehicle.
Video from the school bus, however, shows how much worse this could have been.
It'll take your breath away when you see the video.
Sheriff McBride says it's incidents like these that emphasize the need to bring their department into the modern era. But even more importantly, the real dangers of distracted driving, even for those that normally write the ticket. Now, Sheriff McBride tells me a few of their cars, particularly those used in drug investigations, do have dash cams. However, the average deputy car does not. Coming up on News 4 at 6 o'clock, hear from the victim of how this all happened and what she thinks should be done and how the department should be handling this. Live in Anderson County, Madeline Hackett, WYFF News 4.
Madeline, thank you. South Carolina drivers who are used to dodging potholes on their way to work are about to get some much-needed relief.
SCDOT has begun its annual resurfacing, and many upstate roads are getting a facelift right now.
That's right. Tim Waller is live along Augusta Street in Greenville, which is one of the many on the list. Tim.
Yeah, even though the road projects underway right now are not being paid for through the higher gas tax, Nigel and Gabby, they were scheduled right after the passage of the South Carolina roads bill to give drivers an immediate improvement.
On Wade Hampton Boulevard from Greenville to Taylor's, resurfacing crews are giving drivers what they've begged for years.
Anything's an improvement. Yeah, I don't care if it's just one road, but all of them's messed up. I mean, they need to do some work on them for sure.
It's one of many projects in the works for 2018, and drivers say it's about time.
A lot of bumps, a lot of potholes. Not good. Yeah, a lot of bumps. Yeah, it could be a lot better.
Resurfacing projects that are underway now or will soon start include Piermondary Road in Anderson, Highway 76 in Clemson, Church Street in Pickens, Pelzer Highway in Easley, and Boiling Springs and New Cut Roads in Spartanburg. Just a few of the hundreds of road repair projects that drivers say are overdue.
Some roads are good, and then a lot of them you just swerve and avoid potholes, you know.
Something road crews hope to eliminate quickly by nearly redoubling its resurfacing program over the last 2 years.
And back here in Greenville, a live look at Augusta Street, where you can see where the surface there has been graded and is ready for a nice new paving job. State Department of Transportation says 2,200 miles of roadways in South Carolina will be repaved this year alone. Tim Waller, WYFF News 4, live in Greenville.
Tim, thank you. Let's turn to weather now. Live pictures here from Woodruff Road Skycam once again. What, 3 days in a row?
Yeah.
These are nice skies.
Very, very nice. Chief Meteorologist John Sesrich is watching it all. He's here with us in the studio. Can it stick around, John?
It's going to stick around for a little while. Looks like Gabrielle and Nigel. Yeah, pretty nice weather out there, and it's good news is the fact that we're drying out for a couple of days. We need to dry out because especially all the rain that we've had, and especially in the mountains, obviously, with all the flooding concerns. So a little bit warmer today. Our warming trend continues. A little bit more moisture in the air, and then in the last couple of days, but still overall going through the night tonight in the upstate, not too bad. As you can see, the clouds will start to dissipate pretty quickly later on this evening. The winds will start to pick up a little bit out of the northeast, probably late tonight, and very comfortable at midnight. It'll be 75 degrees, so not very humid outside at all, which is unbelievable and unusual for early June. And again, I'm not complaining. In the mountains, still a very pleasant evening. Temperature dropping to 71 degrees at 9 p.m. and upper 50s at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, Thursday. Looking pretty good, nice and cool in the mountains. Now back to you, Gabrielle.
John, thank you. Now to breaking news. Authorities say a small plane that crashed and burned in the Bahamas killed 3 people. They say it was registered to a Spartanburg company, and the pilot, whose name has not yet been released, is from Spartanburg. ZNS Network Bahamas reports that the plane crashed on Rock Sound, Eleuthera. Officials say the plane went down around 4 yesterday afternoon. Again, the names of the victims have not yet been released. Authorities say the men were headed to Fort Pierce, Florida.
More breaking news just into the newsroom. Greenville County Coroner says a toddler died after he was left in a car. The coroner says 1.5-year-old Joe Lockaby died last Thursday. Results from his autopsy are pending. The coroner says Joe was visiting his grandmother's home in Pelzer. He says Joe was left in the car, and when his grandma got him out, he was unresponsive. The coroner is still investigating.
And a baby was tossed out of a window of a burning apartment building in Anderson, and it was captured on video. Look at the cell phone video showing how massive the flames were at the Ashford Cove Apartments. And here's the video of the baby being dropped. The Anderson Fire Department says the fire started just before 8 last night. The flames burned units and caused extensive heat and smoke damage. A mother had to throw her 11-month-old son out of the window, and then a witness says that she jumped out as well. A witness says that the two have minor injuries.
We saw all kinds of fire and smoke coming directly out of that hallway.
We had just finished dinner and we heard the smoke alarm. We thought it was the people upstairs because they just moved in also. And we went outside and there was a lot of smoke.
Again, minor injuries for that mom and baby, but glad they made it out. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The Red Cross is helping the people who are displaced.
Wow. 3 years ago today, baby Leona Wright went missing from Pendleton. Authorities say the baby was last seen at her mother's home in the Edgewood Square Apartments. Freedom Fighters Upstate says they will hold a walk to honor Leona and other missing children throughout the upstate. They say they will meet at the courthouse on South Main Street in Anderson at 7. Everyone is welcome.
Now to new details in the manhunt for the father of an 8-month-old girl who was wanted in an Amber Alert. The girl was found and is okay. Authorities say her father's capture in North Carolina yesterday was all thanks to a person who called 911.
Yeah, I think I might have some information on the baby that got missing, Emma Grace.
So that caller there says the suspect, that man Carl Kennedy, knocked on her door and asked to come inside to change and feed the baby. She says she called her mother, then called police, and local and federal law enforcement surrounded the home.
I grabbed her. I just turned her around so nothing could happen to her, and I left.
Glad she is okay. Officers made their way into the home and captured Kennedy. A family member again says that the baby is all right. Carl Kennedy remains in jail.
Now to marijuana and cash thrown from a car in a chase this afternoon. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office says its narcotics unit was trying to stop a car around 220 on Middleton Road. Deputies say the car did not stop, and instead, take a look. They tell us someone inside the car tossed out cash and marijuana as the car led deputies on a chase. They say deputies were eventually able to take 2 men into custody after the chase ended on Brown Road.
New at 5, voters in California have recalled controversial Superior Court Judge Aaron Persky. He was the judge who sentenced Brock Turner, a former Stanford University swimmer, to 6 months in jail in 2016 for sexual assault. Many criticized the short sentence, and it sparked a nationwide outcry. Nearly 60% of people yesterday in Santa Clara County voted to remove Persky from the bench. It is the first time since 1932 that California voters opted to remove a sitting judge.
Details about why a Scott Air Force Base commander was released of duty 6 months ago have now been released. Colonel John Howard was relieved of duty back in December. In court documents, Howard is accused of sexual assault, cruelty and mistreatment, and conduct unbecoming an officer.
I think it's difficult to come forward when it has when that perpetrator has been someone in authority, because there are certain risks associated with that. They're having flashbacks, maybe they're not sleeping, maybe they're not eating, anxiety, relationship problems, a whole host of things.
U.S. officials say sexual assault reports across the military jumped nearly 10% last year. The Navy and Air Force saw the highest increase at 9%. The military says it took disciplinary action in 62% of the sexual assault cases in 2017. And that includes Howard's case.
I just got into a blissfully calm state. It was really weird.
A South Carolina teen sidelined from graduation due to a snake bite. How his school brought graduation to him.
Plus, as President Trump gets briefed on hurricane preparedness, victims of Hurricane Maria ask Congress for help.
Very warm temperatures outside right now, as you can see. How about let's zoom into Anderson County and see what it looks like. 89 right now in Anderson itself. 88 Piedmont, Williamston, Belton, also in Honeypath. It's 90 in Star Iva area. I'll be right back.